Today I'm going to go over real quickly stocks that are not really, I've talked about this before, but and I've made videos about it, but it's stocks that are connected to the S&P, but they've moved kind of slowly. They don't move as much as the S&P does, but they are connected to the S&P. And I've gone over a couple of them in previous videos. I've gone over Walmart and I've gone over Waste Management, which are both part of the S&P. And I'm going to be making more videos on that to kind of go over the stock. But today I want to kind of go over a couple of stocks that are part of the S&P that are just kind of, they're big companies, but the stock price isn't that big yet. But if you were to do options on there, could you create kind of a passive flow of income by focusing on doing a week contract and just focusing on getting a $1 difference and kind of getting selling with a $1 difference within that range of a week. So the goal of this is to find these companies, like Walmart, Starbucks, a whole bunch of others, Target, and look at the price and see if you can find $1 difference within one entire week, and in that week just buy a week out contract. We'll look at a couple stocks and we'll see if that's doable. Okay, first on the list here is Walmart, and Walmart is sitting at about $98. So the goal here is to find $1 difference within 1 week of buying a 1 week contract. So in this situation right now, we could tell that the Walmart stock has had a hard time getting past $98. So it did kind of come up here, but it came back down. And what we can tell right now is where the stock is right now is it's at that point of where it needs to break through 98 in order to keep on going. But most likely what we're going to find is it's probably going to keep coming down. So when it opens up on Monday, it's most likely going to come down. So a put would be a good choice right here. Now, what you would want to do is you want to buy your contracts out for a week. So you would enter right about here, do a put and wait for a $1 drop, and you would sell somewhere around here. So within a week it would have to drop down to $97, $97.94. And if you do that successfully, you'll make $100. So that's just with a small one. Now, if you do this you can plug other indicators here, but we'll look at RSI. So you can look at RSI as well and see moments where it's crossing. You see another moment right here. So basically, you just have to find this once a week. So right here, if you want to find $1, it already happened right about here. So you just have to find $1 within a range of a week. And with Walmart, it looks like that's very possible to find at least a $1. Anywhere it'll move anywhere from 50 cents to $1. So you could, with one contract here, you can make anywhere from $50 to $100 with one contract, and then you can scale that up. So let's real quickly look at some other stocks. Let's look at now we're looking for ones that are part of the S&P. Let's look at Starbucks. Okay, so Starbucks is sitting around the same price, and what we basically want to do is we want to find let's real quickly see. I'm going to look at Starbucks options and seeing if you can buy them a week out. Okay, so with Starbucks, you can buy them up to June 6th. So these are week outs, it looks like. So yeah, you can buy week contracts. So basically it's the same thing. So basically you want to buy a week out contract, and you basically want to shoot for $1 difference from point A to point B. So what we could tell from Starbucks here is it's due to come back up, but right now I don't think there's enough. I think it has to come back down. So I think that it's just trying to come back up, but it's ultimately going to come back down. Basically what I see. And you can also draw lines here. Just notice that we were in a kind of a descending channel here. If you go from here to here, and you'll see that it would have to break. It would have to break right here to be considered bullish again. So what I would do is I would wait more for a bullish pattern. This looks like it still has some momentum to come down. But anyway, you can also look at your RSI and look for crosses. But anyway, you want to make sure you find $1 per week. So if you found it right up here, you could have entered here and found that dollar right about here. So you would have made $100 there. So of course you can, these are just with one contract, but once you have enough, you can actually scale it up. You can start it with 2 contracts, and when you start with 2 contracts, the goal here is to buy week contracts and to scale up your contracts as you go. When you get to 2 contracts, you'll be making $200 for every dollar. When you get to 3 contracts, you'll be making $300 for every dollar. When you get 4 contracts, you'll be making $400 for every dollar. And 5 contracts, you'll be making $500 for every dollar. And that's almost a full-time salary for most people. So the goal here is to find a dollar within a week. So let's real quickly look at some other smaller. Let's look at Target. Now we got Target here. And we know right up here, we notice there's resistance on that. So it's been trying to get past this point right here. It's been trying to get past 97. It hasn't. And we got some bounce zones probably right around here. So most likely it will bounce around 93.22. But it is looking like it's still in a bearish moment. So I would personally look at it on the day. You know, if this is the one I want to target, I would look at the day here, and I would just look at the overall direction. It looks bearish in my opinion, so I would be focusing on bearish momentum. So what I would do down here is I would look at the RSI, wait for a cross up, and then wait for it to cross back down, and that's kind of when I would enter. Now keep in mind you do have weak contracts, so you just have to get within that range and get to that dollar. So let's real quickly look at a recent move. We could have caught this one right here, and we see if we can find a dollar. We're going down right here. You would have found a dollar. So anyway, the goal here for the strategy is to find these stocks. You know, you got Target, you got Walmart, you got Starbucks, and then you got a couple others that don't really cost a lot. Now you can go with some of these smaller, cheaper stocks. Now I've done SoFi as well. I did that in my last trade. I did SoFi. SoFi is a good one. That's also a good one. So you could stick to these companies: SoFi Technologies, Walmart, Target, Starbucks, all these. And basically, what you want to do is you want to make sure that they have week out contracts. You don't want to pick. You want to do something like S&P where it's daily. We could do those. You want to buy weekly contracts, and basically, when you pick these companies that are part of the S&P, you want to make sure you're getting within that week. You want to get to $1 difference, because these stocks will not move as much It might move 50 cents to $1. It all depends. But the goal here is to get anywhere from a 50-cent move to $1 move within a week. So for one contract, you basically want to have a goal here of finding a $1 difference. Your $1 difference is your goal. When you're doing one contract, you'll be making $100 a week. 2 contracts, you'll be making $200 a week. 3 contracts, you'll be making $300 a week. 4 contracts, you'll be making $400 a week. 5 contracts, you'll be making $500 a week. And that's $500 a week is pretty much full-time salary for a lot of people. So all you really have to do for this formula is to find $1 difference, whether it's going up or down, within 1 week. So it has to get into that range. But anyway, if you guys like this video, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in future videos.